Storms like the one we just saw last week often provide lessons about things government can do better. Sometimes those lessons take time to identify, but one lesson from the storm is already very clear. As we all know, the Biden EPA wants to make 2/3 of all new cars sold by 2032 to be electric vehicles. This weekend, we saw one of the many reasons why this burdensome EV mandate will not work for us in the Midwest. And it's because EVs are not reliable in extreme cold weather. Reporting out of Chicago this past week showed public charging stations have turned into car graveyards over the last couple of days. Also in the story, a driver was calling EVs dead robots. Car graveyards and dead robots is not what we want for our future. And this happened in Chicago, an area where there are lots of EV charging stations. But what about a place like Nebraska, where we have far fewer charging stations? President Biden's own Department of Energy map shows no EV chargers on a 244-mile stretch of highway between Broken Bow and Scottsbluff. Many rural communities across Nebraska are more than 100 miles from the nearest charging station. Electric trucks are not practical when you're hauling livestock. You just can't pull over on the side of the road to charge for 2 hours when you're hauling a truckload of cattle in 0-degree temperatures. Imagine EV ambulances breaking down on the way to rural hospitals. These are very real considerations for states like Nebraska. Nebraskans tell me over and over again that East Coast Washington bureaucrats have no idea how their policies will impact the rest of America. And frankly, in the last year I've been here, they're absolutely right. The folks here on the East Coast do not understand what we go through in the Midwest. If we are going to set national standards, we need to make sure that these standards are workable in every state, not just the ones on the East Coast. These major winter storms are a powerful reminder that right now, EVs don't have the range and performance needed in cold weather, especially in rural states like ours. Imposing an EV mandate on the Midwestern states is unworkable, foolish, and wrong. I urge President Biden to reconsider this foolish policy. Until he does that, though, I will continue fighting against that here in the Senate with every tool that I have. I'd also like to thank all the folks who responded to this winter storm, whether it was our first responders, snowplow drivers, law enforcement, especially Nebraska State Patrol. I want to thank all of them for their work to be able to make sure that motorists were traveling safely.